There is this invisible force that shapes pretty much every experience, every reaction, every single decision you make. And it's not something out there in the world. Nope, it's right between your ears. It's your mindset. And today, we're going to figure out how to become its architect.
Okay, let's get right into this. We all have this internal narrator, right? It's just a fundamental part of being human. It's always on, always trying to make sense of the world, keeping a running tab on what's going on and what it all means. And look, this isn't some flaw in the system. It's a feature. It's literally designed to help us navigate our lives.
So, what happens when that internal filter gets, well, a little twisted, when it starts slapping these extreme negative labels on totally normal everyday events? You find yourself reacting with way too much anxiety or anger or self doubt. That's the moment when that helpful little feature becomes a massive bug.
But, and this is a big but, here's the good news. You can absolutely fix it. You can be the architect of your own mind. So in this explainer, we're going to walk through the actual blueprint for building a resilient, powerful, and positive mindset right from the ground up.
Every great construction project has to start with a blueprint, right? So before we can build anything, we really need to understand the two fundamental designs our minds can follow.
So here's the thing you've got to understand. Your mindset isn't just one single thought. Think of it more like your mind's entire operating system. It's the whole collection of your beliefs and your knowledge that acts like a filter, and it determines how you process everything, and I mean everything that comes your way. Now this is where it gets really interesting. On one side, you've got the fixed mindset. This is the blueprint that tells you, hey, you are who you are, your talents are basically set in stone. And that way of thinking naturally leads you to avoid challenges because, let's be honest, why risk looking bad, right? But then you've got the growth mindset. It says something completely different. Your abilities can be developed. And that one simple belief, it changes everything. It creates a love of learning, and it builds the kind of resilience that is absolutely essential for any kind of great accomplishment. All right, we've picked our blueprint, the growth mindset. So let's move on to the next phase of our project. A strong structure needs the best raw materials. We have to be really intentional about what we're building our mindset with.
So your foundation gets built on two key things. First, you've got to curate your information. I mean, in this age of total information overload, the most critical skill isn't just finding info, it's selecting the best info and actively tuning out all the noise. Second, model the best people. Now, this is not about becoming some cheap copy of somebody else. Think about it like this. If you admire an athlete, you don't try to mimic their every single move. No, you study their work ethic, their diet, their mental focus. You take their principles and you apply them to your own game to build something that's uniquely yours and uniquely powerful.
Okay, with a solid foundation in place, it is time for the active construction. This is the internal work, where we start to frame our core beliefs and consciously shape the actual structure of our mind.
This whole construction process happens in three phases. First up, you have to inspect your current beliefs. Find those self-limiting thoughts. Those little voices that say, oh, I'm not creative enough, or I'm probably too old to start something new. And you treat them like cracks in the foundation. Challenge them. Next, create a powerful vision, a super clear image of what you want your end result to be. This vision acts like a magnetic pull, drawing you forward. And finally, you break that big vision down into concrete goals. That's how you turn an abstract dream into a tangible reality, shaping your mindset with every single step you take. Now, as you're building, you have to make sure that this structure is, well, that it's yours, that it's authentic. So we need to just pause for a second here and ask a really deep, really personal question. Forget all the noise, forget all the expectations. What is that inner voice, your conscience, telling you that you should be doing? And this, right here, is such a brilliant way to find the answer. You align four key parts of yourself. What are you good at? That's your mind. What do you love doing? That's your heart. What need out there in the world can you actually serve? That's your body, in action. And what gives your life purpose and meaning? That is your spirit. When these four things line up, that's when you find your unique voice. So the structure is up. It's strong. It's authentic. But hey, the job isn't done. Not by a long shot. Now we have to protect it. A mindset needs constant reinforcement and maintenance because there are always going to be threats, both external and internal.
Okay, let's run through your main defensive strategies. First, get really good at deflecting naysayers and bad information. Build a strong filter. Second, let go of comparing yourself to others, especially that endless doom scroll on social media where you're comparing their highlight reel to your behind the scenes. It is a game you can never win. Third, put an end to crippling perfectionism. A finished, good project is infinitely better than a perfect one that never gets done. And finally, you have to stop worrying about what people think. Seriously. Most of them are too busy worrying about what you think of them. Don't just hand over your power like that.
All right, finally, even the strongest buildings have to face storms. It's inevitable. You are going to face setbacks and failures. The strength of your mindset isn't about avoiding these little stress fractures. It's all about how you respond to them. Here is an incredibly powerful tool. The next time that inner critic of yours starts whispering, or even shouting, "You're not good enough for this," just stop. Put that thought on the witness stand. Seriously, treat it like a prosecutor in court and demand the evidence. Ask it, okay, where's the proof? Sure, maybe you messed something up last week, but what about the 3 successful projects you led this year? What about all that positive feedback you got last quarter? When you start to cross-examine these negative thoughts with actual facts, you'll find they almost never have a case. And this right here, this is the ultimate reframe. Failure is not an endpoint. It is not a judgment on your worth. Failure is simply data. That's it. It's an opportunity to learn, to see what didn't work, and to discover a better, smarter path forward.
So just remember this. Your mindset isn't something that just happens to you. It is something you build, something you design, something you maintain. You are in control. You are the architect.
The blueprint is in your hands. The materials are all around you. So the only question left is, what is the first brick you're going to lay today?